Hey, what's going on, guys? It's FPL Yusuf here, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be going over a free hit 29 draft ahead of this game week's deadline. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to have the chip active, so I just wanted to go through kind of what I feel like my optimal 11 is going to be, the teams that we should be looking to target this game week, and also maybe some outside chance of differentials for a free hit draft as well. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me today on my YouTube channel for another video. Before we get into this one, if you guys wouldn't mind dropping a thumbs up and subscribing down below, it would be greatly appreciated. Right, game week 29. So this team is all going to be around free hit draft. I know there's probably going to be some of you out there who aren't free hitting, some of you who will be free hitting. So I just want to kind of get this video up for you guys for just in case you are one of the people who have got the chip active this week. Maybe you're looking for sort of like what the optimal team would be. Maybe you're looking for like little differentials here and there. So this is what I would be picking if I had a free hit this game week. Okay, so let's start off in goal. And in goal, I've gone for Matt Sells. I've gone for probably the most, if you could ever say, a sure clean sheet. He's probably one of the keepers this week who probably has the most chance of getting one. Now, the other alternative was Jordan Pickford. I just think for me, the reason why I've gone for Sells over him, one, I just think that Forest have got a better chance of a clean sheet against Ipswich than Everton do against West Ham. But two, Pickford over the last few weeks hasn't really had a lot of save points. I've noticed since David Moyes has come in, he seems to sort of either keep a clean sheet, or if he does concede, it's only just ever like a 1 or 2 pointer. And I think for me, I'd rather sort of go for the upside of a Nottingham Forest clean sheet against Ipswich. Forest are the better team. I think we're all expecting them to get a win. So plus you also want to cover the Forest defense in some capacity. And there's a reason why I haven't got any for the defenders, as we're going to come on to in a second. But for the goalkeeper start off, I think I would just go for Matt Sells if I was on a free hit. Okay, onto the back three, and I've gone for quite a high upside back three. Now, are clean sheets going to be there? Potentially. I mean, there's certain fixtures in this back three that should bring clean sheets, but it's never that simple. So we'll start off first with Rayan Aït-Nouri. So he has on paper got the best fixture, and that is Southampton away. Now, for me, without Cunha, Wolves do lack a little bit going forward, and I'm hoping that he's going to sort of be one of the outputs for them to try and make up for that. So he obviously does get forward when he goes down that left-hand side. He's got great delivery. He obviously has good goal threat. We've seen in the past he can score goals. He can make assists. I think the big thing is, can he keep the clean sheet? Now, if he can keep the clean sheet, he's very good for bonus points as well. So there's always a chance that you're going to get like a nice double-digit return with him in these sort of games. But obviously, it is a risk. Wolves are, where they are in the table for a reason. And that's because they haven't kept as many clean sheets this season as they probably needed to. But maybe this is the game against Southampton that they can do that. So next up in the defence is also another little bit of a risky one in terms of clean sheets, and that's Diogo Dalot. Now, I wasn't too sure about Man United defender at first. I was contemplating just going for Onana and having the Nottingham Forest defender in there. But I just feel for me, Dalot's going to play. Obviously with Dorgu being out, Mazraoui's playing on the right, Dalot will be on the left-hand side. He does go forward a lot, and he does have goal threat. His finishing isn't always on point, but I think for me, the fact that he gets himself in those positions, they're playing against Leicester, who, aren't a great side on paper. They haven't been great this season. They're probably looking like they're going to go down. So for me, I just think that there's probably an upside that he can, first and foremost, get an attacking return. I think that's what I'm trying to gamble on, because Man United defensively haven't been that great. But again, same as Aït-Nouri, if he does keep a clean sheet, he's also very good for bonus points as well. So it's either going to go one way or the other, I think, with them two. It'll either be a sort of a 2-pointer, 1-pointer, or it could be a double-digit haul. So fingers crossed for the latter, and hopefully fingers crossed we can get some big returns from them. And the last defender I've gone with is Gabriel from Arsenal. Now, this one is probably a little bit of a riskier one. I don't think a lot of people, unless you own him, would probably be taking Gabriel this week, because obviously, Chelsea are on paper, a much harder fixture than what some of the other teams have. I think for me, Arsenal, when they play at Emirates, they're obviously a much harder team to sort of try and break down. Obviously, Gabriel does come with a goal threat. We haven't really seen it too much over the last few months. Arsenal's corners, I don't want to say dried up, but they haven't really scored as many as they were doing. But I think Gabriel just offers, a great, he's a guaranteed starter for Arsenal. He does have the set piece threat, and I think Arsenal do have quite a good potential chance of keeping a clean sheet in this game. So yeah, that's the sort of defensive line covered, as well as the goalkeeper. So we're going to jump straight into the midfield now. First up on this team is Bruno Fernandes. Now, maybe there's an outside chance of him being a captaincy shout. For me personally, I'm not going to go with him. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But Bruno Fernandes, for me, obviously, had a massive haul against, I believe it was Ipswich a couple of weeks ago, well, not a couple of weeks ago, a little bit longer than that. But he has shown that, against the sort of quote unquote, smaller teams, the ones who've just come up from last season from the Championship, he can turn up. And I think he's on, all set pieces, probably going to be on penalties for them as well. So for me, there's a lot of different routes to points, and I just like Bruno Fernandes in there on the free hit. Next up is Justin Kluivert. Again, Bournemouth, he is sort of their talisman. He's on penalties for them. He's been very, very good the last few weeks. He's been ticking over, with goals, assists here and there. his minutes are probably going to be as nailed as anyone else because of the fact and the way he's performing. I think the only chance he gets pulled off early is if obviously Bournemouth go up sort of 3-4-0 very early on, you know, sort of by the 60th minute, then maybe we could see him to get taken off and just rested. But other than that, I think pretty much he should play through most of the games. Like I said, he's on penalties as well, which always helps. So yeah, for me, for those reasons, I always like, if I can take a penalty taker over someone else, more often than not, I will side for that. And as you can see from the midfield and the names we've got in here, a lot of the reasons are behind because they obviously have the penalties, which is an extra route to points, which actually does bring us on to the team that he's playing against, and that is Brian Mbeumo. So obviously he's playing against Bournemouth. Brentford have sort of, I don't want to say dried up recently. They haven't been as good as they were sort of around Christmas time when they were just scoring against everyone. And Mbeumo is one of them players that almost when you expect him not to turn up, that's kind of when he does. So for me personally, I do like the fact of owning him. He's going to play 90 minutes 100%. He's on penalties. He's overperformed his XG this season, most definitely, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I do think that, you know, when Brentford do get chances, if they fall to him, more often than not, he is, you know, pretty good at putting them away. Obviously, very good for bonus points too, which is obviously always handy. Like I said earlier, he's a penalty taker as well. So, you know, these are just things that we just tick the boxes because, you know, for me, any way that you can get routes to points, especially for midfielders, because the goal is worth extra, I think they're definitely worth taking a punt on. Finally, the last player in this midfield is part two of our three-part Nottingham Forest double up, and that is Morgan Gibbs-White. Again, same thing. He's on set pieces. He's going to play most of the minutes, you know, if not all 90. I do like the way Morgan Gibbs-White transitions for Forest. I think he sort of pops up in very good areas for them, and I am expecting him to sort of over the next few weeks. You know, Forest have got good fixtures, so you know if you own him in your actual team, fantastic, keep him. If you are looking for a free hit, again, not the budget's really an option this week because obviously you know we're missing a few big players, but I do like the upside that he offers, and obviously you know the fact that they're playing Ipswich again, which is one of the promoted sides, a team that they probably will have a lot of joy against. I like the fact that he's in the midfield and he's on set pieces as well. Okay, and on to the front three. Now, 2 out of 3 are probably going to be in most people, if not everyone's teams, at least to the engaged managers, and that's Chris Wood and Erling Haaland. But we're going to come back to them because I'm going to start off with a differential first, and that is Omar Marmoush. Now, he was benched last week against Nottingham Forest, and Man City obviously lost the game. I do think that that is probably going to guarantee him a start this game. Now, if you are bringing him in for your actual team, you're not on a free hit, you're looking to make a transfer. Obviously, they've got a decent-ish fixture, Brighton at home. I'd always back Man City win at the Etihad because I think that they will get chances. The following game week after that, game week 30, I know this is not for the free hitters, but if you are looking for a differential, they play Leicester. Now, Marmoush for me offers quite a high upside. He's one of those players that is either going to go big or nothing. And it is a little bit of a gamble. You know, you could obviously go for like a Strand Larson, who on paper has got a better fixture. But for me, I just think City, when they're at the Etihad, Brighton a real hit and miss team. Sometimes you get a very good side, sometimes you don't. So for me, it's a gamble worth taking. You know, if he does go off and he does score, which we have seen, you know, he got a hat-trick against Newcastle. So if he does come back with a return like that or a double-digit haul, that is really going to significantly boost your rank if you're trying to chase down your mini leagues. And as I touched on just briefly there, Erling Haaland and Chris Wood, both in there, both got fantastic fixtures, both on penalties. The question is who's going to get the captaincy. At the time of me recording this video, I personally am swaying towards Haaland if I was on a free hit. I think he's got the higher ceiling. Man City are the better team. I know the table doesn't reflect that, but they are just generally a better team. And I think Haaland will probably get more chances than Chris Wood. So for me personally, I think the ceiling and the higher upside lies with Erling Haaland, which is why for me, he would be getting my captaincy on a free hit this week. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. If you have any questions about my team or anything about your team, maybe you're on a free hit draft, feel free to drop it down below in the comments. I will get back to all of you guys. Or if you're on Twitter and you want to drop me a follow, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below as well. I will be back tomorrow with a final team selection video ahead of the weekend's deadline. We'll cover, you know, the current team that I'm going with, some confirmed transfers, which I'm probably going to end up making tonight, being Thursday. I'll also go over, you know, some of the clean sheet odds, some of the goal odds, just to give you guys a little bit more information if you are trying to hold your transfers till sort of like just before the deadline. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But once again, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.